Welcome to the 2.5 Citizens podcast. I'm Zen.
It's Pabs.
It's Ruben.
And let's get right into it. So, what is getting right into it?
So
Can y'all? So, I didn't tell y'all this because I wanted it on the podcast, but I'm actually that. No, I'm joking.
Yo, that'd be so crazy if you made us get your live
insane.
reaction to your death, like right now.
oh my
You're like,
God.
hey, but I got 3 weeks to live. So we're gonna make these 3 episodes a banger.
Yo, I'd be like, what?
You just cry every
Okay.
episode.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I
but
was
no,
gonna say, go for it.
I was in Yosemite. I haven't looked at any of the news. The only thing I know about is Kanye. That's literally it. I'm oblivious to any of it. So can y'all just walk me through?
First
So
things
yeah, I
first,
got you.
first-
This would be so much fun
yeah.
because
Well, I was gonna say,
just get to you get to respond to the craziness of
well,
what's going
I was
on.
just gonna say, first things first.
Yeah.
You asked us to look at our Spotify Wrapped and flamed us for not, being on Apple Music, whatever. And I told you that allegedly I can't post mine because it may or may not be a little wild.
No, let me explain. So Pablo being mad pussy right now.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
What is
So
this?
for starters, Kanye's #1 on his playlist.
Allegedly,
Not only
allegedly.
is it #1,
Allegedly.
not
do you
only is
mean?
he #1, he is on the top 2% of Kanye
Allegedly.
West listeners.
Allegedly.
He is on the top
Damn,
2%
Pablo.
of Kanye West
This was
listeners.
earlier this year, bro. It's the whole year.
Jesus.
Dude, he was being wild as fuck the
Wow.
whole year.
I know he's all about that love speech.
It's all-
Like,
Jesus.
what about whenever do you remember whenever he said slavery was a choice?
Oh my
Pablo was
wasn't
like,
this
damn, you
year.
really? Oh, that was it this year? Oh my
That was
God,
not this
Pablo.
year. That was
Yeah.
a little while ago, dog.
Yeah.
That
And
didn't,
you
that
still
didn't,
was in the top 2% of people listening to Kanye West.
he's like, I need to
You
put
know,
on
That's neither here nor
stronger
there.
every morning.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
Family
But
business.
why don't you just if you're gonna be like that, why don't you just do the move that everybody else has been doing and post your Spotify Wrapped with like the name redacted?
Is that really?
Is that
I've
a
been seeing
thing?
people do that as dumb as fuck.
Yeah, that's
It
That's
makes me feel
dumb.
like you're
No,
just embarrassed
yeah,
of like who you really are.
yeah, that, like that,
It's like if you're embarrassed and don't post it.
that's
Like,
what
why
I'm
you
saying.
gotta
That's why I
feel-
didn't post it because yeah, like it's all good.
I just want you to know that by not posting it, you're just making people think you got Apple Music.
We should all
That's
post
fine.
ours to the IG. The
And then
podcast
flame
IG,
Pablo?
and just get
Oh my
we'll
God.
just get flamed by people.
Yeah.
Well, but no one's gonna flame mine. Mine called me an F slur,
Who?
but my Apple Music replay called me an F slur
Why?
What is an
because it
F-slur?
had the
Oh.
slur that starts with an F
Got you.
towards the LGBTQ community.
Oh my God! I thought you were talking about fried chicken. All right. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So because I mean, first, I just had to be street. I had to pop up a Lil Durk #1, Drake #2.
What is
then
Lil
from
Durk's
there-
best song?
I mean, that's
Uh-huh.
a very right now.
To me. To me,
I think No Auto Dirk is a really old song. That's probably one of his best songs because he's just talking crazy.
Is
He
that the
just- the
dude
thing
that
ab-
has the controversy about sliding?
Yes. Well,
yeah.
there's a lot more than him just having the controversy about sliding. So I'm just gonna if I need to give you the quick background of Lil Durkology, his dad,
Big Dirt.
Big Dirk, was a really renowned street dude who didn't snitch on Larry Hoover when he went to jail. Larry
Okay.
Hoover, famously, known for all this other stuff.
Mhm.
So basically that happened. So he already has the backstory, the crazy backstory of the streets.
Mhm.
Then when Chief Keef and all this stuff happens, that's where like his area blows up. And
Okay.
he's been talking crazy about his ops in songs. He says them by name about kids that have died, like famously Tuka was one of the big ones. They always talk about smoking on Tuka. So much so Tuka was just like a teenage kid that was an op that got killed. And Tuka's name gets used so much that people who aren't even involved say Tuka as like weed because they just thought it was like another word for that. So it's like gone deeper than everything. So people be
Yeah.
like, I'm out here, I'm smoking a Tuka pack, and people are like, yo, you're disrespecting the child.
Yeah,
But-
I don't know.
But that's pretty much like the origin of Dirk. And
If you ever
everything.
had like 5 hours to kill, you could always look at like Trap Lord Ross's
stuff
video
about this,
on-
yeah. But basically, long story short, he pretty much had like a revival. He was kind of like not popping as much because of label stuff. He got off of his label, started doing his own thing, started talking reckless again, started saying people by name,
Wasn't he on Rock Nation?
maybe management, possibly.
All right.
I remember Vince
But
Staples saying
regardless,
that they
now
had
he's
Lil
just
Durk.
talking
Yeah.
crazy. So the whole sliding controversy comes from a legendary O Block rapper by the name of King Von, who was one of Lil Durk's artists. They've been cool since they were little. And King Von got killed in Atlanta over some rap beef, not even street beef. It was like he was beefing with some other dude.
Quando Rondo.
Quando Rondo. He saw him at the hookah spot. It was on site. He started swinging. Lil Tim comes out of the car. He's one of Quando Rondo's associates and shoots Vaughn and kills him. So now everyone's like, yo, Dirk, I thought you were going to slide for Vaughn. Who's sliding for Vaughn then? And obviously, if Quando Rondo's still alive and Lil Tim's still alive, and the people who they are associated with is NBA Youngboy, and they're like, so what's up? Are you sliding for Vaughn or what? Like, you ain't slid for Vaughn. You're so afraid to slide. You're talking about slide this, slide that. We ain't see you slide. So then all these memes come up about how he hasn't slid for Vaughn. So they want him to just in broad daylight murder these people.
Which is insane,
in order for people
when
to
you
be
think
like,
about like what they're saying.
in order for people to be like, oh, okay, Dirk slid.
Yeah, and then go to jail.
So
everyone would
that's
know
what's
what
happening
happened.
right now. So that's what's happening on that front. But I say all that to say, you can believe whatever you want. I got your folks hit. Aha. And we're just going to continue on from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there on, it goes into like, so I have Lil Durk number 1, Drake number 2, and then it just gets crazy. I have like Jessie Reyez, Summer Walker, Kehlani. These are all female R&B singers. And I don't know what it is that Apple's trying to say. That sounds crazy for them to just assume.
That's just very spicy.
Just seems crazy
Even
for
from
Apple to
Drake.
be like.
Yeah.
I went from Lil Durk to Drake. It just progressively went downhill from there.
Yeah.
21.
I say myself on
Dude,
8. 10 is
man.
21 Savage though. Number 10 is 21 Savage. So like I'm still with the streets.
It goes to number 10.
Well, Apple's does. Ours goes.
Yeah,
to like 5.
y'all, because y'all are wild. It doesn't even y'all don't like y'all's company doesn't care about y'all's analytics like that. But that's
I think it's just like, does it even matter after a certain number?
Yeah, it
Who's
does.
your 25th?
Yeah.
No. Top 10. You always got to go top 10. What's your top 10, dog?
Really?
Like, what's out here top 10?
Top 10 that are
I wonder
alive.
what mine were. I'll let y'all know.
Wait for
Yeah,
you.
you acting like you're not gonna get flamed like me, bro.
Wait for You by Future. I played that song 99 times for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. Yeah. I will wait for you, because he has a legendary line. He has a legendary line. So in honor of what Pablo's wearing right now.
Or flannel.
Plaid?
Well, he out here looking like a scarecrow. But with that being said, Drake has, Future has the crazy line where he says, I've been in the field like the children of the corn.
Oh yeah, he does say that.
And I love that line. And I can't not go back and replay that line. And just like Pablo be out here looking like one of the children of the corn.
My favorite Future quote that I was trying to remember is him and Lil Young Thug in the back. He's like, if she don't gotta protect, she is not mine. She is for the streets. I'm just like, damn.
No,
boy, that's
he's like,
that's such a high.
This is how you like know this my hoe.
Yeah, if she got an AP
not
on
have a protect,
bro. First of all, the bar is so high. Wait, but is the AP gonna be iced out because of the AP's?
No, but you also heard because he also has on the new album where he goes,
and
this little bitty watch cost me nothing.
Hold on, you said the wrong brand. You said Protect and you said AP, and then you made me say AP. AP is out of my PK.
I know, but he's talking about both.
Damn, Pablo said, bitch, I know all my brand. Damn,
bro watches an Icebox video one time and thinks he knows watches.
First of all, I don't be watching Icebox. I watch that other dude.
He watches F1 and he's just
that like English UK dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So can we talk quickly, and this is completely off topic, about the best lyric the Young Thug has ever said in his life?
I couldn't give it to you.
Which is, when cops pull up, I put that crack in my crack.
That's insane.
Off the Barter 3. One of the craziest lyrics I've ever heard a rapper ever utter.
Really? Crazy why?
Because it's like
it's like insane.
It for one, he doesn't say cocaine, he says crack.
Yeah.
Okay. When cops pull up, I put that crack in my crack.
He rhymed crack with crack.
And it was a double entendre.
Not really. He said crack in my crack. It's not a double entendre. Is that it doesn't play how it works.
But what if he puts his crack in the more and he has more?
All right. Doesn't matter.
Anyways,
let's get into real thing. Okay.
So
let's talk about. We got to talk about something crazy. Well, so for starters,
the first thing.
For starters, to get this. Well, okay.
Since we were already talking about it, you're flaming me about it. First things first, Balenciaga out here crazy.
What happened?
Acting like they don't have a team.
So basically what happened was there was a picture. It wasn't, it
was insane.
So
bro.
Balenciaga gets the ad agency to do promo. The
you
picture,
can't blame the ad agency, bro. Like
picture. Can you not? If you say
you can blame, like it's a two. You still have a whole team like dedicated to this kind of stuff.
Tell a little bit about what's going on.
So basically, what happened is it was like a campaign where you have like kids modeling clothes and they're holding like teddy bears or dolls, and the dolls have like BDSM like harnesses and stuff like that.
Right.
And okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, super. And they're like in bedrooms and stuff.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Like it looks
Alright.
mad crazy.
But then it
And
gets even crazier.
like toddlers, not like.
I need to
So-
see it then, because I'm like,
Yeah, no, pull it
some
up.
weird toys. And so who reacted to it?
Everyone.
Did
Everyone.
Did Alex Jones react? Because I know if Alex Jones reacts, so the right is really upset about something.
No, so I'm trying to pull this thing up, and this internet's acting crazy on me. Okay,
I thought it was
so look at this, and I mean, the crazy thing that's really been coming of this whole thing is I don't know if this is the right picture or what's going on, because I've seen some other talks about the pictures in which there is a court document in the back of one of these pictures, right? And the court document is a Supreme Court ruling on child pornography and its uses. So basically, like, child pornography is illegal, but if you use it in the context of marketing or art or something like that, then it's allowed, which is crazy for them to even put in the picture. Which
These
I
are
don't see where that
huge.
is.
When y'all described it, I imagined this very tiny thing.
No.
This crazy.
This is what
That's
I'm saying.
insane.
No, this is what I'm saying. How the hell does no one in your team say to the marketing agency, "Yo, what the hell did you guys just create? This is awful. We're not doing this. We're not putting this out. What's wrong with you?"
And so a lot of people, like, regardless on whatever you feel about anything, art, but when it comes to kids, you just want to completely leave them out of it. And that's one of the things that's going to anger a lot of people. So this is where things get a little interesting. So Kanye West obviously had a great relationship with Balenciaga. Balenciaga drops him because of his immorality or whatever they feel they need to drop him for. Then this comes out, right? Mind you, I don't know what Kanye's still trying to do with Balenciaga, but when
because he said he was dropping the $20 sweatshirts
he
with
said he was dropping
$20 on them.
$20 Balenciaga sweatshirts with Ye 24 on them.
Yo, can we talk about how? So I have a half sister that lives in Mexico.
Okay.
And she hits me on WhatsApp. She's like 20. She hits me on WhatsApp and she's like, "Hey, can you get me that Ye Balenciaga sweatshirt?" And this was like Wednesday, and I was like,
does she not have access to the internet?
I don't know how to tell you that. No.
But does she not have access to the internet? Like, what's
I don't know. News travels slow there, but still, it's
So
well, maybe she traveled fast and she's just a fan. And
yeah,
your family members, Pablo.
Well, I mean, no, just keep the enemies close, dog.
I think the kid thing hasn't reached them yet.
Mexico.
Well, I mean, are they really buying Balenciaga like that?
Well, my
trying to say
dad in Mexico's like bougie.
Well, I don't know if they. I'm 100% like completely ignorant to that. I don't know.
No, yeah.
Do they got a gallery over there? I really don't know.
They do. You're being crazy right now.
Am I being crazy?
People, yeah.
Every time I go there, what I will say though is that their fast food restaurants look way nicer than they do here in America.
Yeah, because it's more
twice as expensive.
Yeah, they're twice as expensive. That's why.
Oh, is it really like that?
Yeah, that's people don't eat out over there. It's like a big thing.
It's a luxury. Well, they eat out. They just
I mean, it's just like you
aren't supposed
you just don't do it for every meal like you could here.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, you're not supposed to hear either, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So,
but it's more common.
So that became a big topic of conversation for obvious reasons, and this points to a lot of the people that are big supporters or on their payroll.
Kim even put out, she put out a statement.
But Kim K's statement seemed a little crazy, where it's basically like, hey, like the basis of the conversation is, I talked to Balenciaga to try to, because she took a while to respond to people's opinion, so she's like, I have to like, get together with them and talk to them and figure out what exactly is going on. What is it that they were like feeling? Yada yada yada. Nothing seems to be like cool though, in my opinion. Like, it still doesn't seem like there's anything that shows that there's like a real reason that you should have been using. Like, I mean, that it didn't seem like, it just seems like she's setting things up for her to work with a brand later on in the future, because she's saying things like, I spoke to them and I'm reevaluating my partnership with them.
It's like what Adidas first said when Ye was like wilding, and Adidas came out and we're like, we're putting it under review.
Okay. So how do y'all feel about the brand right now? Would y'all wear it? Did somebody give you a free?
I never really cared about,
I never liked Balenciaga like that.
Okay.
Because like the shoes were always like, to me,
the shoes were terrible.
It seemed like that thing that people think Kanye does, which is like make us believe like that their name is so cool that they could put out like the craziest, ugliest things, and make us wear it. So like they were the big one with like the dad shoes when all the designers were doing it, like those triple S Balenciaga runners or whatever the fuck.
But then they have that stuff that make you look homeless. Like they put out
worn out, completely homeless looking things.
Yeah, like you would look like you're under 290.
And it's like you're spending a lot of money on it. And then there was like
did you see the bag that was literally a black, like, bro, it like, when you know how like we're brown, so we moved using like black trash bags. Like that's how you move.
Mm-hmm.
So they had that style bag, but it was an Italian like leather
trash bag.
That's the whole point. The whole point is to get you to talk about how like wild but in reality, like the ideas are so
stupid.
Like the idea is crazy in the sense that who the fuck would buy this, but also like the idea is not at all creative. Like it's just like, hey, just make this and it'll garner some attention that will allow people to buy the extra large dad shoe.
Right. And everyone talked about that being the most ugly shoe, uncomfortable shoe. Everyone regrets that whole wave. Everyone regrets that like is of status, having spent that much money.
Literally every episode of Sneaker Shopping, when JLP is like, "What shoe do you regret?" All of them usually say the Triple S.
You got your shows mixed up, but that's
oh, what I say? I said Full Size Run.
No, it's supposed to be Full Size Run. Welty asks that on Full Size Run, but it's all good. And you know, I didn't want to call you on it or anything.
Okay, like sorry, complex.
So
still put us on.
But basically, with that being said, every person says that was their worst decision. And so obviously what Balenciaga does is feed things to people that they feel are important. They're going to drive the culture, who then tell people, hey, you should wear this. And then people wear it and they get all this money and everyone buys it. And then everyone's like, yo, that shit was kind of whack after the fact. And that seems to be like the kind of running business model for Balenciaga. So they do this crazy thing, which in my opinion seems like they're saying we can make BDSM for children cool. I don't know what the reasoning for this was, because what's happening now is they're suing the ad agency that made this, right? Who put this all together.
Yeah, Balenciaga's basically acting like they don't have a team that like
that approves shit.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's the step.
We'll see. That's wild. That'd be cool to find out what happens, you know? What if we find out that they came up with the idea?
Regardless, the Balenciaga came up with the idea. Of course, they you have to kind of have a general idea, right? Like, hey, we're trying to promote this.
Yeah,
what's a cool way? For
they act like they probably didn't give the marketing team notes or like a direction, or you know, like
the direction they want. Exactly.
So, and then it didn't go through hella checks before it hits. But anyways, that's brought a lot of questions about Kanye. And so with Kanye, he's been recently doing this thing where he's going on all like the right wing people's like platforms.
He went on Alex Jones.
So he went on Alex Jones.
What are the other
ones? He went on Tim Pool, which I don't know where Tim Pool.
I don't know.
He's the dude that wears the beanie. He's the dude that wears the beanie.
Do you think he's when is he pulling up to Ben Shapiro?
I don't know, because Ben Shapiro's Jewish.
Oh, that's true. Ben Shapiro
doesn't know what WAP is.
No, you heard about that whole thing, right?
Yeah,
that shit is like funny.
Yeah, that's.
I like how he just admitted to us.
Yeah,
that his wife don't get wet. And like he just don't understand the concept of a wet ass pussy.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way he talks, look at his mannerisms. Do you think that like that explains it for himself? Like,
He's like, I have a wife, and she tells me there's no need for a bucket and a mop. Like, all right, dog. There ain't no macaroni in a pots here.
Whatever you say, dog. Whatever you got to tell yourself.
You give him a pat on the back. Go, yeah, man.
There you go, champ.
All right, so.
Oh, you thought I was feeling you?
Yeah, that's what his wife said.
Oh.
So. That's been a big thing. So with the Tim Pool podcast, he walked out within 10 minutes. Kanye walked out within 10 minutes because
I may have seen that.
So basically, Tim Pool had to like push back to the term they. Mind you, he's been rolling around with this guy named Nick Fuentes, who's like a white supremacist, but is somehow part Hispanic. Like he looks super white, but his last name's Fuentes.
Isn't that just all of the Hispanic people that have? I think like Drake as their. Kanye is their number one stream on Spotify.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Basically, yeah.
Basically. So Nick Fuentes and Kanye. So basically, this all stems back to Elon, where Elon reinstated his Twitter account, right? Well, now Kanye seems to be doing this thing where he's pushing the limits of Elon's free speech.
He lost access.
Right, he got his account suspended after
he forced Elon to take him off Twitter again.
Yes, because he basically said he started saying crazy shit like, so Elon said he would never let Alex Jones back on the platform because of his comments towards Sandy Hook.
Okay. Oh yeah. He said he held his child.
And because of that, like he said he would never let that come back on. So that's been a thing. And he's been letting Alex Jones tweet from his Twitter. He's been letting Nick Fuentes tweet from his Twitter. He's been letting all these people say crazy things. And I think the final straw was that picture that I sent in the group chat where he put the swastika inside the Star of David.
Yeah, that was insane. Dude, what the hell?
Now, here's where things get a little, and I want to get your opinion on this, Pablo. This is where things get a little spicy because we all know the way the internet works. They get clips, they put them out of context, and they make things look crazy.
Okay.
So in order to have listened to when Kanye went on Alex Jones and had a 3-hour podcast with him, You have to go to
Mhm.
Infowars.com. That's just like the way Alex Jones is banned from everything. You have to go to the website Infowars.
Yeah, you
and
have to
watch
look for
there.
it.
Which is
Yeah.
also, if you Google Infowars, you're not going to get a link. You have to know to go to Infowars.com. So everyone reporting and putting on these clips went to Infowars.com to get this,
Mhm.
these clips, right? So it's driving millions of people worth of traffic over to his site. Now,
Right.
everyone's getting these clips of him saying things like, I love Hitler. I like Hitler. I like things Hitler did. He also said, I'm a Nazi. When Alex
Mhm.
Jones said, you know, I hate people thinking I'm a Nazi or something like that. Like, I'm not a Nazi. And Kanye said, I am. And, but
No, okay.
the
That's
more,
awful, dude.
but now it is awful. But when you start looking at the bigger picture of it, he's doing this weird manipulative mind game where he's basically saying, I'm walking in the light that Jesus would walk, and Jesus loves everybody.
No.
So Jesus has love for these people
Yeah.
and love for these people. So
Like,
he's basically
he's-
saying,
no,
he said, I love Jewish people and I love Nazis.
Like, no, this is okay. Like, one of the first things that made me like hate what Kanye was doing was when he was trying to justify all of his actions as if it was like God told him to do all these things, and it's like, no, you're in like a crisis, and you are an egomaniac, and your ego is telling you to do all these things. Like, don't bring God into that. So like,
Yeah.
and then it's also really
Definitely
messed
true.
up. It's really messed up too, because like he's basically twisting like what real Christianity is. Like at first when he did all the Jesus stuff, like it was cool. He brought a lot of new eyes to it, but then he just ran with it and like made it seem like, you know, like basically it makes me think of like when kings would be like, yeah, you know, God talks to me, like this is what we gonna do, like, and then like bad stuff gets, like really horrible stuff gets done in the name of like Christianity, in the name of Jesus, when like that's not what it's supposed to be about.
But I feel like that's kind of hard.
like
a lot
that.
of people do that.
I like
a
that.
lot
No, a
of
lot of people do that.
pastors do
No,
that. A lot of
100%.
congregations do that.
Yeah,
That's kind of
but they don't have the
basically
pull
a lot
that.
of, right.
But they don't
Kanye
have like the mainstream platform that he does.
So he's quoting Bible scriptures. He brought the Bible
Is he? But is he?
to Alex Jones'
he
podcast.
entertained,
He had it on the
basically?
But like,
table.
I'm pretty sure he's
Now, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's like, I haven't seen him do it. I didn't watch the Infowars thing, but like I'm pretty sure he's like taking stuff out of context, because it's very easy.
Well,
to do.
everybody does that though. Like, there's no
Not
way
everybody.
you don't get to no one reads the Bible and says this is exactly what he means.
That's literally what people do.
No, I know,
everyone
I know.
takes the Bible and then uses these stories as an interpretation of how to live your life.
Sure.
No one's telling you
Yeah.
a big flood's come and build a big
But
ass
like,
boat.
but like,
They're saying trust in God and listen to what he says.
no, but like,
You know what I'm saying?
the
And shit like that. Like, no one is taking any of this stuff for real face value.
No, but like the thing is too that like there's some wild stuff in there that if you don't know the context of it and you don't know what happened before, what happened after, you just take that middle section, it just sounds insane.
But that in the Bible?
Yeah.
But that's also what they're doing to this interview.
True.
So
but
they're just taking the wild part out. They're not telling you the before
But
context.
how do you say I love being a Nazi? Or
you
like,
don't say I love being a Nazi. You said I love things Hitler did.
yeah, or like how do you say
Hitler
that?
won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Bro, I'm telling you,
What,
I spent time in East Texas, and one time when I was working at the company I was working for at the time, it was a nonprofit, and then we would have high school kids like come volunteer, and then there was this one high school kid that was doing hours for, I don't forget what it was, but like it was basically forced like community service, and he was like this redneck looking kid, and he was talking to me, and then he just like is telling me about his school, whatever. I'm just trying to relate, or I just like talk to this kid while he's like working, and he just like goes, yeah, man, like we just ordered our Letterman jackets. He goes, one of my friends got suspended though, and I was like, oh, why? And he's like, cause he tried to order a swastika on his Letterman jacket, and like he was expecting for me to laugh, and I was just like, what? Like that's crazy, man. Like not in like a good way. Like I think he like saw how like the genuine shock in my face, and he was like, he goes, well, you know, like the swastika was like originally like
Oh
a symbol for peace, and I'm like, yeah, man.
That's
but,
basically
like,
what Zen is doing right now.
when you look at it, you don't think peace, you think, you know, the awful things that were done in that.
Right,
that
but
brand.
when you're talking about someone in East Texas, to me, it's crazy because no one in East Texas is like having everyday relationships with Jewish people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. To me, that seems more of like I'm just wanting to be edgy and want people to know that like that like I feel whatever, and that's more white supremacy than actual anti-Semitism in a lot of cases. Like Kanye's is more like anti-Semitism specifically.
Yeah, his
towards
is very like
towards like Jewish people that he deems are affecting his everyday life. Or whatever,
bro,
you know
he's affecting his everyday life. Like I that too, like the lack of like
accountability for his own actions.
And just being like, how dare there be responsibility to like this mess that I've caused.
Now, what is it that you think? Because what I'm noticing a lot of is he seems to still have a crazy amount of supporters. He is like the Trump, where everyone that's quote unquote normal online is saying, yo, Kanye is crazy for this. This is a wild thing for him to be saying and doing. But he managed to grab a lot of niche groups that are like, hey, I agree with him.
Well, it's not that they agree with him. It's they agree with this one thing. It's like they don't think of him as a genius. They're just like people that are already like, you know, like how we were saying, like white supremacists, and they're just like, oh, I like what he's saying about this though because this aligns with what I believe in. That I
And
feel
if
like
they
I don't
have somebody who
representation.
has a voice
and he's popular,
backing them up,
exactly.
they can ride behind that now because now it's not like as crazy, I guess.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I
like they
mean?
couldn't tell, they couldn't name like the trilogy albums. You know, they couldn't name any album.
Damn.
You don't think so?
I don't think
Hey,
so.
that'd be a wild video to see. Seeing
That would be
Now,
crazy.
Would
and
it
then
be?
like, hey,
Would it be? And I saw this
where
online.
were
Would
who was
the
in Paris? Ask them who was in Paris.
Yeah, yeah.
yo who was there? Who was in Paris?
Bro,
And if
he
they say
they
it-
would no, they would drop the word.
I saw this.
I think
I
they
saw.
might, and then
Yeah.
Have you seen? Did one of y'all send me the reel that I'm thinking of right now?
Which one?
Where it's that song playing, and the person is like this white kid, and he was like, Alexa, stop playing that song. And he's like, what song? The one you're playing right now. And then she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Name the song.
Oh.
And then he just he can't say it, so it just plays on repeat forever. He just can't get. Since he can't say it,
Yeah.
he just has to let it
People
go.
in Paris, individuals in
That's
Paris.
Individuals in Paris.
Individual gentlemen
Just-
in Paris. I like that Zen does that. I do that now. Anytime that word is there, I just say gentleman, and it
Brubs.
It almost always
Brubs in
fits.
Paris.
it almost always fits. I agree.
Um,
I did see this clip, and I'm assuming one of y'all saw it at least because it's called Soccer Under Your Name, but Saudi Arabia with the Japanese
Yo,
with the Japanese interviewer. You haven't seen that? He walks up and the dude just
No.
goes, "Where's Messi? Where's Messi?" Because Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, and I asked the same thing when I saw that. I looked up like, "Oh, is Messi like hurt or something?" Like, what the? And then he's like,
no.
"No, he played the game."
Yeah.
And
No.
it wait, hold on. He just goes, "Where's Messi? Where's Messi?" He doesn't say anything else. He just goes. The guy's like laughing, like, "Huh? Yeah. What'd you want to say?" He's like, "Where's Messi?" He looks at the camera. "Where's Messi?" And then another guy comes up and he goes, "Hey, I just want you to ask all the Saudi Arabian people behind me, where's Messi?" Oh my god, the show's funny.
the USA is out. USA
is out as of today. They just lost to the Netherlands this morning. I know.
Damn.
But there's been a lot of wild things.
So that
happening
means
with
America no longer cares about this anymore.
Yeah. So I wanted to get your specifically your perspective on this with the World Cup. So have you seen the thing about how they've been broadcasting the World Cup to China?
No.
So you know how COVID's still a big thing in China, right?
Yeah, they've been rioting.
Yeah. So the way they've been broadcasting the World Cup is they don't show the audience because they'll show that everyone's close up, no mask.
Really?
Yes. When the camera goes to the audience, and they literally, one of my colleagues showed me this. So when our camera goes to like the audience, theirs will go to like the refs or like people on the field or like the managers or whatever.
So they're able to make their own cuts.
Yeah, they have like their own angles, which is insane.
So how do we feel about that? I think so. I was getting really worried about China for a little bit, right? Because the way that they seem to have their country set up is about Mother China as opposed to what?
That's such a weird sentence to say. Say that again.
I've been mad worried about the CPC or whatever they call them hosts.
Why though?
Because
in the US, he's like, I don't want it affecting my Disney Channel.
No. My issue is if we're the global power of the world who holds all this economic power, they're the ones to take us over. And if we basically start bending the knee to them, then they have the control. You know, the second things start happening, like oil not being in USD. It's just basically like our influence in the world and the economy starts drifting away. You feel me?
Did you just say they changed the currency?
No, I'm just saying,
funny.
like
that was
the
the extreme.
Wait. I love how he was
stuff.
like, I love how he uses the oil thing when if we pull the receipts back up to that crypto episode when you first came on and him saying he'd be like, nah, bro, see, like they're gonna buy oil in Bitcoin, like you don't even know.
All right, look, so check it. So my
and now FTX is out.
My problem comes where I'm like, okay, they have this way of like having capitalism, but then being like, this is not for you guys as an individual, it's for the country as a whole. So all to strengthen the country, and they don't really care about their people, so they can exploit them. So basically, because they're able to do all these like unfair things that we would deem unfair, they have a leg up. And then when you start seeing things like the Rockets GM get in trouble for the Hong Kong situation, and then you start seeing like John Cena apologizing in Mandarin for considering Taiwan as its own country and things like that's where you're like, oh, are they using our capitalism against us to like gain into the influence? So like a big mega movie has to change a lot of things about it. Like Top Gun didn't actually say like who the ops were because they wanted to be able. They're just like the enemy because they don't want like any country that they're trying to like sell this to specifically China, to be offended by it, and then
Yeah,
China
because
still
they
didn't even
can't say
allow it.
Russia because then that's like
They're like, yo, but that's like our people.
Yeah.
So it's like all these things that our culture is being affected in the way that we make movies and the way we make shows and the way we put things out because there's such a big market. And so like that's the fear, right? That's like the fear that they'll
That
become
they'll influence it too much.
or that they'll take over. And we basically
What did Frank Ocean say? If you want to put something out that you like, you
you gotta be willing to make less
money.
money.
America ain't willing to make less money.
We
They
not.
dick right
We not.
They dick
And
right
that's
in,
the
so it's
problem
okay.
is that America is not willing to make less money, so they can use their capitalism against our capitalism
You know
against
what's
us.
you know what's
As opposed
insane?
to it's like
But we'll
idea of
get
like
people who
instead of
who are.
well, but
I
here's what
do.
I'm now seeing is that I think people are having this breaking point where they're like, regardless, the thing about America is that freedom.
Yeah.
And if people don't
Mhm.
have this freedom, they always want to go to a place where they can have that freedom, where they can do the things that they want to do, where they can like be a little wild and reckless and not just like stick to the status quo. And I think that's where America thrives. But sometimes our freedoms can be manipulated by money. So I always use like the TikTok example, like anytime, like the social media example, every time you put clips out, you edit out our curse words. Why?
Mm-mm-mm.
It's because we realize that the algorithm favors not having curse words in there, and it helps us
Yep.
boost our stuff. So now we're changing the way we make content to fit the mold that's being set for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is like
But that's
it's
just
not
how it
like
works.
they're telling us what to do. It's that they're incentivizing us to do what they want us to do. You feel me?
Yeah.
And like that's
But
the
that's
fear.
just-
And now it's making me feel a little comfortable that they wilding out over there.
Yeah.
In other news in that same realm, the largest iPhone factory in China had a crazy like strike and like riots were breaking out over working conditions, and because
Damn,
they
that's cool.
basically
Like that's like good for them.
right, it's gonna affect our iPhones.
Hey man, that's fine. I'm not getting
You
one
know,
anytime soon.
But
There you go.
but to me, it's interesting to see them finally like the people feeling like, yo, I don't think that this is like the right way for things
Yeah.
to be going anymore.
And I
Am
feel
I
like-
wild for that? For
I
being
don't
worried?
yeah,
or,
no. I see where you're coming from. But I would say back to the World Cup, I wanted to bring another thing to you guys.
Yeah.
So Mexico lost to Argentina. No news there. This typically
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
And people on social media have been
What's
coming at Argentinians because like there's been a lot of interviews where like I saw one where like the guy, like the newscaster or whatever, he's like interviewing a fan and he's like, so how could you tell Mexicans and Argentinians apart? And then the other guy goes, well, they're uglier. So it's just like stuff like that.
Mexicans are ugly.
Yeah.
We
And
are
so-
ugly. No. just joking.
So like there's like light skin like tiers, and Argentina's like above us because you know
Is there light skin?
when the Nazis ran away after World War II, they went to Argentina.
so
But also I think about it like people being like self-righteous online, being like, oh, look at how like we need to change this, like how we treat like darker people, we need to get rid of this. And I'm like, I agree with you, but also ask your parents how they feel about Guatemalans.
no,
Damn.
in any culture, that's the problem is racism and colorism is like even within your like group of people, that colorism of like the idea that people with lighter skin are just prettier. Like you
Yeah.
could put the same facial features on someone with lighter skin and like
Yeah.
that's deemed more attractive.
I mean, if we put on Telemundo right now, you'll see all the light skinned people on like the novelas.
And now that leads me to a thing that that came up recently. Neymar, who is the actor or like the person who played Neymar, the actor that was in that Black Panther movie, was talking crazy in a positive way about like, yo, he said 575 million in box office. That's what we sold on this movie. And that's to all the people that said that you have to have light-skinned Hispanics in movies for them to sell well, that dark-skinned people
Ooh,
won't
talk
be able
that
to like
talk.
make
Talk that
movies.
talk.
And that's like the big thing. And he was saying all this in Spanish to his people. He wasn't even saying this for like the American news networks. He was saying this to his own people to basically be like, hey, all of y'all in our culture who think that you have to be a lighter skin to be poppin', and that like we can't do this with who we truly are. This is like where we're actually seeing things that if you make a great piece of art,
It's just
then it doesn't
great art,
matter. It's just
yeah.
if you make great art, it's great art. Because in my opinion, when you start doing wild shit like Bros and say like, not that it's the bad concept, but that you lean into this idea of it's different. It's a romantic comedy
Mhm.
that you marketed as a gay movie,
And then
as opposed to just
and then
marketing
blame
it as a
straight people
romantic.
because
Yeah,
it flopped.
yeah, as opposed to just marketing it as a funny romantic comedy that just happens to be about gay people.
Yeah.
And then you can actually do something with it because now you're making people pick a side. No one went out there and said that Black Panther was for this and that. It's just a great superhero movie with a great story done really well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it the great movie that it is. Not that it was like, hey, I don't even remember the marketing about this Hispanic thing.
Because well, the thing too, like racism can't fight like greatness. You know, like you could find the biggest racist in the world and they'll be like Michael Jordan. Like, yes, I will give it to you. Or like Dude, I bet you Tucker Carlson will even eat like Mexican food or Indian food if it's fire enough. You know?
Whites love Mexican food. I ain't even gonna
Yeah.
front.
So
yeah,
like,
it's literally their favorite thing.
That's how I know
Ball
white.
Station, it
mhm.
was like
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
restaurant was Mexican food, but they didn't want you to cross the border.
Exactly. So
I
it's
mean, I
just
feel
like,
the same.
so it's just like
Oh my
if it's
God.
wait, what did he say? Yo, what did he say?
He
I'm
said,
wildin',
I
I'm
feel the
wildin'.
same.
I'm wildin'.
But
No,
yeah,
just the nannies and shit. Let them
It felt
cross.
really cool to walk up in the back of the Mexican restaurant and just talk to them in Spanish because they don't only speak Spanish.
Yo, yes.
And then
You
they
walk
just
to the
look at you
back?
like, yeah, like in one of them, the back is kind of open. So instead of talking to the cashier, I'll just talk to the cook and I'll be like, hey, so like I
have a
want this
very hard time
tortilla.
determining when I should speak Spanish to people and not.
Because your accent's so bad that it'll make it seem like you're a white person trying to speak Spanish, or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
other race
for
trying to
sure.
speak Spanish.
For
Oh,
sure.
that's
I-
why.
Yeah, no. One of
Mine
the big
is
things,
because I just don't want to offend. Some people don't like that when you speak Spanish to
Assume.
them, but they like I speak English. Some people don't. I mean, people do it to me. They'll just speak Spanish to me. I'll be like, oh fuck it, how'd you know?
I would say if we could rank our Spanish, it's me and then Ruben and then slightly under is then.
is your
Slightly
Spanish not the
under.
best?
Mine's that bad. Hey, mine is better
Ruben's
than
can
yours,
be
probably.
yours.
Fuck you.
Ruben's can be pretty
Should we have
bad.
a Spanish off
Bro,
right
Ruben,
now?
when-
Should we have a
when you
Spanish
said
off right now?
bro, tell the story about how you asked for the bill in Mexico and the fact that I don't know how you didn't get
Oh
flamed.
my god. Okay, yeah, and my little brother was correcting me too, so that's what pisses me off. And when he hears this, he's
Well, the
gonna
younger
laugh.
ones usually know.
Yeah.
They've been a little more connected to the tias and the grandmas when they were being raised.
I think that's what it is, and he roasts me, and I'm like, so I think, and I hate it because I still don't know the difference.
Bro, I'll teach you right now, real quick.
So,
Well, tell a story and then I'll teach you how you say it.
I don't know. I needed the bill, and I asked like because
Isn't it
I
La
have
Cuenta?
Yes.
no, like yeah, that's la cuenta. But I was like, me puedes dar la cuenta? And it's like toman tarjeta, and then the lady looks at me like, huh? Like what the fuck are you talking about? Because
would've said that.
tarjeta means like a greeting card, basically, is what I think it means. And then I'm supposed to ask toman. I don't fucking. What's the word, Pablo?
For cash?
So,
Or
No,
for,
for card.
for card.
No, that's not how it was. You said instead of saying me da la cuenta, you said me da la tarjeta, or you said it. You like said it backwards, I think.
No, I say me da la cuenta. I know how to say that.
Okay.
Then I said toman tarjeta, and that's not how you say it. And if you
Uh-huh.
don't know how to correct me, then fuck y'all. Y'all both Spanish is bad. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
something else. Google it. Tarjeta is
Now,
not correct.
my thing that my most annoying one but the worst part is mine are never bad enough to where people don't understand what I'm saying. They're just
You
bad
could have
enough.
just said like debito,
they're
toman
just-
debito.
They're just probably
Yeah.
mine's just bad enough for people to know that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So like I always used to say jugando la guitarra because in English we say play the guitar,
Mhm,
but it's
mhm.
tocar la guitarra, like I'm just touching the guitar, but it's like I'm not just touching it.
He goes,
Like, I'm
"Hey,
doing
yo,
way
bro,
more."
yo, I ain't touching it." Like
Yeah, I
that.
really ain't touching it like that, but that's what you're supposed to say. And I have my grandmas and shit correct me, and I'd be like, "Well, y'all on some other
Wait,
shit."
so are you?
Y'all
telling
know
me,
what I meant.
Are you telling me Roman has better Spanish than you? Is
Not
that what you-
anymore.
Okay.
Not he used to, because I was like 7 years removed from being raised by my grandma or a nanny every day that speaks Spanish, and he's just there, so he's listening to them, talking to them every day, and I'm like in school talking to kids and stuff, so my Spanish starts getting not as good as his. And now I don't even think he knows how to speak Spanish. I ain't heard him speak Spanish, and
We
I ain't
should
gonna-
have a Spanish off. We should just hold up images of objects
so
and
here's what we'll
say
do.
the
So
Spanish word.
not on the
That'd be
podcast, but
fun.
we will do a
Wait, that
separate
would be
clip.
fun.
I want to create a YouTube video where we have a Spanish off.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
That'd
We
be
need to do that.
hilarious.
I do want to.
If you're listening, go watch it.
Yeah.
You'll hear
Yes,
how
we're gonna
terrible our
create a
Spanish
separate
is.
YouTube video.
I ain't
where
gonna
we
front.
actually get this together, and we're gonna have to have there's a third party person.
I'll
be
bring.
the one
I'll bring my wife because she has the best Spanish.
Did she correct
No,
you?
it has to
Yes,
be
she
us,
corrected
and then
me.
we have to.
No, but
No,
basically,
we can't just
we
put
need
it
a
out.
ranking.
Wait. Oh my god. No,
to
I could
create
never.
it. Someone has to create. Someone, an unbiased party.
Bro,
has
I
to
could
create.
I
I could never bring my mom on like a platform, but like my mom used to be a grammar teacher, so like when I was taking native
Why can't you bring your mom on a platform
because I don't want
off camera?
to. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want
Does
to.
she understand English enough for us to be able to communicate with her?
Yeah, she
Yes.
does.
And she's
But-
nice, and she's stylish. She wears
Yeah.
cheetah
Oh my
print.
god,
And
Yeah, like, we
is
won't
the
show
best
her.
Mom, super sweet.
she is the best mom.
We won't show her. No, I can't not. No, I'm not even gonna bring it up right now. I just can't. I'm bringing it up. I can't even think about Pablo's mom without thinking about Pablo ugly crying, because that's the last time that I saw his mom was on your wedding, and when y'all did y'all's dance together. Like,
Why are you flaming such a sweet moment?
it's such a sweet
It's a
moment,
sweet
but it was so
moment.
hard to be
Pablo
like,
was
damn,
crying.
Pablo.
But
Damn,
Pablo
Pablo,
was like,
you
holding it,
weeping.
like, yeah, he was.
Bro,
weeping.
tell me
it was
why-
a very cute moment.
I
very
literally
endearing.
listened to that song all week to get prepared for that moment, and all my training just went out the window.
Yeah, it happens. You should have practiced with her on the side, but then it wouldn't have been the same, you know.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
It is what
'cause then
it
she
is.
would've known.
Zen,
Yeah.
when did you meet Pablo's mom the first time?
I mean,
Was
I
it just a normal event? You don't remember?
probably nah. Like if
Oh, I know where
anything,
this is going. I know where this is
if
going.
anything, I probably just popped up into like his like apartment back when he lived in the apartments,
Got you.
and like
Okay.
I saw like there was a Tampico. I swear there was Tampico there.
Probably.
And I think I was offered Tampico. That's literally what I remember because I try to avoid parents.
The
at
most
all.
like Mexican thing.
I love parrots. Is they're just
Yo, Tampico
they're
never
usually
gets
so
cold. Y'all
nice.
notice that?
Yeah, Tampico is just like chemically engineered.
It
to
never
always,
gets
like,
cold
be the
somehow,
perfect temperature.
ever.
I don't think I've ever had Tampico, so if y'all
It's orange
want to send some
drink.
over.
It's not like
I've seen it. I've just
Yeah, he
never
knows what
had
it
it.
is. Yeah,
I have
'cause
Jaditos.
his mom is a health queen. She's health
Yeah,
conscious.
yeah.
She would actually like.
So
his-
where's
I
this
never had
going?
these
Is there
things.
something?
Ruben's
What
mom.
There's
has your
something.
mom said
So the
about
first
me? Has
time
your mom
that
said
I
anything
met-
about me?
No.
No, the
You,
first
like,
time I met Pablo's mom was when the whole school met Pablo's mom.
God damn.
Because
Oh.
Pablo's mom showed up to school, and we all sat at a lunch table, and Pablo sat with us. This was in middle school, and I didn't really know him, but one day we all come, and Pablo's like on the opposite end of the lunch table, or like at least a bit further, and there's just this lady there with cheetah print on, curly hair, mean mugging all of us, just like. And then Pablo with his head down, just eating like this, all depressed. And then, you're all gossiping, like, hey, who the fuck is that lady? He said, bro, that's his mom. I think she came because he got in trouble. And then we're trying to talk to Pablo. And we're like, hey, Pablo. And she's just like staring at us like, bitch, don't talk to him. Did I give you permission to even speak to him? And it was the most
like, yo, we in a
awkward and
public place, it's a
embarrassing
school.
moment.
Yeah, bro. It
And
was.
that is
you
when
know,
Pablo lost all his clout at
Yeah.
school. Because he was really cool back then.
in middle school.
And then that's when we became friends.
And that's when he had to move schools.
Yeah,
No, I
and
moved
that's when we
schools
became
like not
friends.
because of that. I just my parents like would be like, oh, we can't afford this place no more. Time to move.
Hey, but I
Yeah.
think you needed to regain because here's the thing with Pablo is like off rip. Looking at him, he's got like some clout already. Like especially back then when he had his jawline more intact and shit like that. Like,
Are you calling me fat?
no, I'm just saying. Your jawline was. I was looking at some pictures.
Oh
Your
my
jawline was
God.
strong, dog. Like I saw the
You
pictures.
act like I don't see this with myself. This is like my
He
worst.
goes, I am
nightmare.
a monk.
No, what I'm saying is like I saw the pictures that you and Elvira had posted of like throwback of when y'all first met.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, jawline was sharp as fuck back then. You look good. You look healthy now. Back then, you just looked a little more chiseled in your facial
You weren't
Yeah,
eating.
area
my face again. Like my dad tells me all the time because Mexican parents gotta body shame you.
all the time.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's what they do.
Yeah, my
That's like
grandma,
their number
bro.
one thing.
I am my grandma's favorite, undisputed, heavyweight. No one.
Why do you
can
think that is? Why do you
Pound
think
for
we
Pound for pound.
they just shit
I
on
don't know.
your
It's just, like,
body image?
culturally, like they just like
That's literally the
crap
cultural
on
thing.
you,
Like
yeah.
they just make sure like they never want you to get a little too comfortable.
yeah. They gotta turn you down a peg, I guess.
Like they got to make
Yeah.
sure that you
But-
know, like, hey, you're doing really good, but like,
Yeah.
hey, a little too many tortillas, huh?
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you some
Oh
shit.
my
Like
God.
just say some shit like that. You'll
No,
be
no,
like, all right.
But let me explain.
But do you
this.
go more toxic than them? Like I'm very petty, so if they were to
Like,
say
you'll
that,
clap
I'd
back?
be like, yeah, I'd say something ridiculous where they'd be
Yeah,
like, well, where's the
Ruben
husband
smile.
at? Or like, oh, like, did you get the papers yet? Or like, do you still work at like, wherever you're working at? It's just
Like, oh, your
like
kids
as I go,
tantrums.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Your kid
No,
still in
wait.
jail? Or-
Ruben, remember how I used to get flamed at my uncle's church, and then one time you gave me a comeback. You were like, "All right, man. The next time they come for you, say this." And then
Yeah.
I said it, and it was like, "Ah."
Yes. Yeah.
No, I
but
just go
remember that
completely nuclear. If they try to do some shit like that, I just like, oh, dude. I mean, I was like on some nuclear shit back then.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
Like, I will
Zen
turn
tells
the
me
whole
story about
family-
he almost split his whole family during Thunder. You remember
Oh.
Thunder? How we played Thunder in my bachelor party?
like the drinking game, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a whole different thing.
For
I did
people
do
who
it
don't know,
then.
you drink every
So
time. that the
ACDC's Thunder
word is
comes
said.
on, which starts with thunder, na 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 na, thunder, and you drink when you hear thunder. Once thunder is said again, the next person drinks, so on and so forth, until something happens where they say thunder, and then a solo comes
Yeah,
on,
you're stuck in the guitar
and
solo.
then you're stuck in the guitar solo, and you're stuck in the whole verse, waiting for
worst
them to
part.
say thunder,
Yeah.
and then that's where shit goes downhill.
I hate that
Oh.
it happened on the river too, and it happened to me. Like I don't know how you planned it so perfectly that I got stuck in that part. I was so pissed.
But with all that said, the 2 times that I played Thunder with the family has been a shit show. But even before drinking, I would be at the table. And like the thing about Brownsville is very the valley in general, the Rio Grande Valley is very like toxic in the sense that like they're in their own world. They basically right down the street from Mexico. So everything that they like live by is Mexico, but in America. And basically the class system's crazy. You either own a business or you're an illegal immigrant working for like less than minimum wage. That's pretty much
For the business.
For the business. That's pretty much how Brownsville works. And you don't really have any outsiders. You don't really have very many different races. It's mainly
But isn't
just-
immigration just
Yeah.
running around?
Yo,
So wouldn't they
My
stop
brother-in-law-
all of
my
your
brother-in-law knew-
workers?
No, not really.
Remember y'all were because he went to school in Brownsville and y'all was like talking about Boca Chica and back in the
Yeah.
yeah y'all were chopping it up about that.
So the thing that happens is basically it ends up being a little racist because no one truly knows like what other cultures like. In Houston, we interact with different cultures every day, all the time. We know all
Yeah.
these different people, they just assume that what they've heard about people is what's true about people.
Yeah.
So when wokeness first started and was the wild thing, and I was like the woke one who was always trying to be politically correct about everything, they just wanted to like be a piece of shit to me. And so they would just kind of like do these things to kind of like push my buttons of wokeness and like be upset and be offended. So I just went completely nuclear and like, and then blew the fuck up on the whole family and was like, y'all looking for a reaction, right? This is the reaction y'all want? And so I pretty much just like went on a whole
You went on a rampage.
I went on a whole rampage. And then the thing is, it's started this woke movement. So all the kids were on my side and all the adults were trying to tell their kids, come on, let's go. And all the kids were kind of like at this weird place because they're like, if I go with them, then I'm like admitting to being a part of the problem. And so like I had kids turning on their parents.
He basically he made Facebook like a reality.
Yeah, I pretty much like through the whole comment section.
You mentioned this last time too, something about Facebook and family. That's wild.
He literally did that in real life.
I did that in real life. I made like half of the family and the dinner table leave. It was a whole thing.
God,
and after that, they all I'm saying is after that they stopped saying shit like that to me. After that, they stopped doing that. They're like, oh, if we go a little too far,
if we go pound for pound,
if we go a little too far, it's gonna come out because that shit used to get on my fucking nerves, dude. Like my biggest problem is hypocrisy. In a lot of these cases, like everyone might have their moral high ground on stuff. So it's like with Christianity, if like a very Christian person comes up to me and they want to start talking about homosexuality. So quickly, I want to talk about. This is kind of derailing us, but this is going to get me into a news thing that we got into, which is basically the unfortunate shooting that happened in the club in the LGBT club in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So that happens, and I don't know if you guys saw the video clip of when the shooter's dad was interviewed.
No.
So he's a straight meth head. He looks insane, and he's basically talking about when he was told about the situation and how he heard that it was in a gay club, and so he goes, "What the fuck, is my son gay?" And then when he finds out, okay, my son's not gay, my son's not gay, he's relieved. He's like, we're whatever religion he says he is. I'm a conservative Republican, so we don't do gay. So
he's just like a cartoon character.
So
basically.
being gay is worse than murdering people.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't see how like
which you're not supposed to do.
Right.
Like,
so if we're talking about sins, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're talking about sins, why is one sin more crazy in your opinion than another sin, right? So that's the issue that comes up with me a lot with family when they try to do shit like that with me. So there's like one instance
I think that's
where
the best way to handle it.
One instance they're trying to say something that I was doing was like against the law or something, right? And we were in this person's car, in this family member's car, and I said,
what was the thing?
I don't remember. It was something like that was not, it was dumb, right? Like something stupid. And they tried to tell me that there was a problem with that. And I said, well, you have an open beer can in this car. You know, that an open container is illegal, right? And they're like, but that's different. I'm like, well, no, it's not. If you're saying that like something's against the law and you're breaking the law, then we're even, right? So
and then they brake checked and then hit himself because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
I'm sorry, I'm getting heated. I'm getting fucking heated.
Damn, did he brake check you?
No, I was a passenger. This shit just gets on my fucking nerves. Like family be on some dumb shit sometimes, and then I'm the only one that I guess people start being a little careful because they realize that I'm gonna be the one to like say something, and that becomes a thing. But regardless, family be on some shit, and that's Thanksgiving, dog. How was y'all's Thanksgiving? Like, did y'all have to clap back at people?
No, I had COVID, so.
You almost gave me COVID, right?
Yeah, I told you. What do you mean? I almost gave you COVID. I said,
all right. Let's be real though.
We hung out with this person. They got diagnosed. I feel fine. Bar feels fine. It's on you.
COVID.
You want me to?
Did you make the chorizo?
I did. But I made it on Saturday. Yeah, it was really good.
10 out of 10 or what?
10 out of 10.
All right.
How'd the turkey come out? Oh shit! I didn't tell you. That's how my turkey came out. I burned myself. I dropped it.
How you gonna burn yourself?
Well, he was outside, right? You was outside?
No, I cooked it in the house.
Okay.
Then I went to go camp in 20-degree weather. It was the worst experience ever.
You have your Arc'teryx
wait,
jacket on?
Can we pause real quick?
Yeah.
No.
Why do people do that? Like my dad has the same situation.
Sorry. My middle name, I'll tell you the story. This is why why my family calls me by my middle name and not my first name is because my dad's first name is Pablo, or technically his name is Paulo, but when they registered him, the registry got messed up. So his name was supposed to be Pablo. It's Paulo. My family calls me Andres because they don't know which one to, like just basically out of like to not cause any confusion. So my dad could be Pablo, I'd be Andres. But then what happened
of the lack of creativity.
Yes.
They gave you a different name. Why not just call you Andres?
Why not name me Andres from the beginning? Yeah. I don't know. And then my parents get divorced. Then my family really doesn't like him. So then they really triple down with the Andres thing. But he doesn't even call me Pablo. Like my dad doesn't call me Pablo.
Calls you Andres.
Yeah. Which he gave me the name.
Yeah,
and then he
that's
turned
wild.
around and named my sister Paola, and then he turned around again and named my
Yeah,
sister
bro.
Paulina.
This
Yeah,
man.
y'all were wild. My parents
It's like
specifically
Pokemon
was like,
names, just
Yeah,
slightly.
my dad
Yeah,
was
we're
like,
all different like variations. Like
Just
I'm
change that shit
Pichu,
just barely.
Pikachu,
no,
Raichu.
they're
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
like the Kim Kardashian
Yeah, yeah,
of like Hispanics.
I like
Yeah.
I like try to make a joke to it with like Elvira. I was like, so what if I keep it going and name our kid Paul? And she goes, that's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not though.
But it is funny.
Yeah.
Like it's funny, but it'd be dumb as
Yeah.
fuck.
Like
Hopefully
that's
you
the
don't do
whole
it.
thing. Like my parents overcorrected.
Oh,
Like,
it's Zen.
well, because
Okay, I
my dad's
never
name's
knew your
Joe
name
or
was
Jose.
Zen. Before I knew your name, I saw that you had a podcast and it was named The Zen Podcast. And I thought, this motherfucker is really about his like yoga shit. That must be it. That's literally what I thought.
So that was the problem, dude. Is that's the
why
reason I had to change the
Zen?
name. I had to change the name
Yeah.
for SEO purposes because, like, when you go to the Zen podcast, it's like
Yoga stuff. It was just
yoga
yoga.
shit,
Wellness.
spirituality.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
So let's
So-
talk about Alex.
And I couldn't no, but the problem is I couldn't even find our podcast
Yeah.
because like it was just drowned in all that other shit. So for SEO optimization, I had to put 2.5 citizens.
So
and
why are
like-
you changing your style for this platform? You shouldn't allow them to censor you. Are we China? No, I'm sure.
Damn.
dog.
Going back into it. Sorry.
Hypocrisy. No,
No,
Hippocrates!
I had to be wilder. I've been even
Hippocrates,
wilder,
dog.
dog. I've been
I'm
even
just
wilder.
joking,
And
son,
actually,
I'm
the
just
worst thing
joking.
is it would be the Zen podcast.
I like
but
I like your
even-
name though, and I like your brother's name. I like the creative route your parents went.
I'm just trying to figure out like what I would have to do. Like I don't know what
Yeah,
creative.
what are
route
you
do I
gonna
have to
name your
apply to.
kid? Your name's
I don't
already
know.
kind of wild. What are they gonna?
And that's the problem.
Yeah,
is like
like,
I'm
where do you go
definitely
from
I'm
here?
not having a junior for sure. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, you can't have a junior. That'd be crazy.
That's insane.
I'm Zen the 4th.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't even know where to go from
I'm
here.
Zen the 18th.
I think I have to like swing the pendulum back a little bit, like give him something a little more normal.
like Jesus.
Are you gonna go with
Uh,
the can be said in Spanish, can be said in English name?
Yeah,
I've been thinking
I
about it.
want to get name like that, like David is David or David or
Like that
you
name.
know.
I feel that. I have a
Do you
few in
have
my
a
head.
list of
though.
baby names already?
I have a few,
I have-
but
I-
mine switch up.
We only have a girl name, but I can't.
Me
share
too.
it.
I have a girl name
Yeah,
too, but
I
I'm
agree.
about
We're
to
all
say
like
right now.
we have lists, but we cannot share.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
If
for
you
real.
find
it's
it out,
like
then
that.
good for you, but you will not find
Yeah.
it out because it's creative and not anything that.
No, that's the problem. I also have strict rules that if the name came from a TV show or a YouTube channel, it's not eligible for the list.
I like that.
Like if you got it from like a Kardashian's dog or some shit, like it's not fucking.
Didn't your brother-in-law try to name their kid like Goku or something?
It was something like that, but it didn't happen. They picked regular Hispanic
Ooh,
names.
Zen. Maybe you can name your kid.
I thought about that. It's actually it's actually on the list. The fact that you said that's disrespectful. It's on the list. Like you made
Wait,
me. You made me.
this is the only rule. This is the only rule that I have for my dad. Mind you, my dad still lives in Mexico, and he goes, you know, when it comes to naming your kid, please just don't do the stereotypical Chicano thing and name your kid Brian or Jennifer. Like he was just like going off and like going down this list. He's like, that
He's
is
like-
like awful. Because you gotta
Did you
understand, my
roast him
dad.
for his name?
You were like,
No, no,
shit. He's crossing names off his list.
Like my dad, you gotta understand, my dad's bougie Mexican, so like he, you know, so in his head he's like,
He's
all
like
the-
an Alfonso.
he's like all the Chicano stuff that happens to
Right.
him, he like he sees that as like trashy. So he's like, please don't do
Mm.
any of that.
So what name would he like?
I just like a regular name.
Pancho. I'm just like.
He'd probably
PA
take,
something.
bro, you take Pancho over.
Peluso.
Like he basically he was just like, don't use an English name and try to spell it in Spanish. Like that's what
That's
he's
what I'm
saying.
saying. Okay,
Like,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
want the two. I kind of
Mhm.
agree, especially if your family has to say it.
Or like
and
when
say
you
all
got the
fucked up
Jessica
and
with the
All right, so
Y.
this is all cut out. So
No.
we need to get back on
shit.
track.
Get that the fuck out of here. All right,
Where
were
were we at last? So
About
I know that
story.
I know where we want to go from here, which
Yeah.
is I want to talk. So when it comes to people with influence, we're seeing all the influence that Kanye's had, regardless on his alleged cancellation, where he's his influence is they're trying to take it away, but it's hard when you have such a hold on culture.
Tell me if this is true. I don't mean to cut you off, but my sister told me that allegedly Ye met with Trump again and told him he was running 2024 and Trump laughed at him.
Well, so he
Yeah,
not only did he
interesting.
say that, he asked Trump to be his vice president.
Bro,
Wild.
the ego of this man is insane. To go to
That's
a
funny.
president or like a former president and be like, yo, you want to be my VP? You want to run this? Like,
You want to run with me? Not
Yeah.
only so Donald Trump tried to say this carefully, but maybe I don't know the full extent, but the clip of his words were Donald Trump said that Kanye West is a very troubled man who happens to be black,
Damn.
as opposed to like
why?
I don't know why he had to add that
why does he
last
have
part.
to add the racism in there. He's like,
It's like
I just
instead
gotta
of saying like
sprinkle
he's a very troubled black man, he just instead said he's a very troubled human being who just happens to be black. I don't know why that needed to be said that way, but it was.
Why couldn't he just be a troubled human being? Why
Right.
couldn't it just end the sentence?
But he
there?
also happens to be black, so we got to just put that out there.
Just for context.
right, for context, for the sake of the voters. But that's been the thing. So he pretty much was like, yo, you're really wilding. For Trump to be like, you wilding is kind of a weird place for Kanye to be in. But you know, we see that he obviously has this great influence where he's able to talk to the most powerful people in the world and people listen to him. We see some other people that like you would think have this crazy amount of reach. So if you can pull out your phone real quick and go to Instagram.com and look up SAWEETIE. SAWEETIE, she is very hot. We'll put that out there as far as like her image. She had a relationship with Quavo. And the most recent thing that she had been in the news for previously was there was all these alleged rumors that SAWEETIE is SAW and then EE. So it's like SAWEETIE. It was right there. Go back. Yeah, right there with the check mark. So
what is
she has
for
13,
people who don't know?
She's an artist, a recording artist. She has 13 million
Have we
followers.
heard her hit that made her famous? Or
yeah, I mean, we've heard a few hits. So go to Apple or whatever your Spotify is and look up SAWEETIE so that you can like see what her #1 top hit is. And you may have heard of it. She's done a lot of features. She's done songs with Doja Cat. Like there's definitely these big pop out records that that she's involved in. So the list here, best friend with Doja Cat. That's my best friend. She my type. That's my type. Yo, that's my type. You know,
that's her.
Yeah. Tap in.
SAWEETIE?
Tap in.
But that's Cardi.
No, it's SAWEETIE.
Oh really?
Tap in. You know the song Tap In. Tap in. So she has a lot of these crazy breakout hits, right? Yeah. And if you go to like her Instagram,
listeners, you want to
9 million, almost 10 million monthly listeners on Spotify. So it's like she posts a photo and she'll get like almost 500,000 likes. You know, like the amount of support she gets for pictures. Like this is like almost 2,000 likes.
So
super popular artist.
What she do?
So recently she put out a mixtape or an EP called like whatever it was, the Single Life or whatever. And this is all in response to basically a lot of people were saying like that the reason that the Migos had broken up was because Offset had allegedly had an affair with SAWEETIE, which was Quavo's girl. There was also
Yoko Ono.
Right. There was also some rumors that that SAWEETIE and Lil Baby had a thing, and you know, Lil Baby and Migos, even though they're on the same label, have never been on the closest of terms.
Especially since Lil Baby pushed them out and the reason they got shelved. And
right. So SAWEETIE puts out this project, and everyone's like, some people were like, maybe she was addressing some of the rumors that were being said about her, and some people were like, it's kind of crazy for you to be addressing these rumors so close after Takeoff died. This may not be the right time to be, you know, having these conversations or whatever. Long story short, the album does 2K first week, which
2,000,
only 2,000 first week.
That's terrible.
For reference, Roddy Ricch's album that just came out, which I bet you none of y'all listened to or cared about, did 35,000. That song was so long ago, dog. This is Feed the Streets 3. So Roddy Ricch put out
5 times in one.
He's got to, but Roddy Ricch put out an album and did 35K first week, and that's that none of y'all even cared about it.
No, is it any good?
I thought it was great. No, never mind. I'm lying. I don't know why. I'm thinking about a whole other album. I didn't listen to it. Sorry. I'm capping on that. I don't know what it sounds like at all. Yes, total hypocrisy. I don't know why I automatically went to seeing great album. But SAWEETIE does 2K first week.
He's like, let me check Twitter. Actually, I don't know.
I don't know what we think. But everyone's flaming SAWEETIE for basically being like, how do you have 13 million followers? How do you get 2 million likes to 500,000 likes on like your pictures? But when you put out a project, it's not doing well. So there's a little more to this. All right. So a lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people had like their opinions on
who are these a lot of people?
Producers and stuff in the industry. Okay. Like actual people, like celebrities, well, but they're talking on Twitter. So like Sunny Digital. Y'all know Sunny Digital, the producer. He had things to say about Sunny Digital. He did Club Was Up on a Tuesday. Things like that. So
that's the song he did.
He's done multiple other songs, but that's the one I can think of, the producer tag off the top of my head. Y'all can look it up. Y'all just try to discredit me, but regardless. So people have been saying, some people have been having, you know, things to say about this whole situation. DJ Vlad from the channel DJ Vlad came out to say if SAWEETIE would have done a DJ Vlad interview, she would have gotten like 10 times the sales, right? That she did.
That's easy to say when you did 2K, but
he goes, you know, I reached out to SAWEETIE. She like, and they said no, that she doesn't do Vlad, right? So this goes on, gets put out on any interview, but this gets put out on social media, right? And she responds with, "I was never told about this. Had I been told, then this could have happened." And what we start basically finding out is that her A&R and the people in her label have vendettas with platforms and are stopping their artists from succeeding. So the person that DJ Vlad reached out to doesn't fuck with Vlad. It's not that SAWEETIE doesn't fuck with Vlad. It's that these people basically have connections. So they go, hey, yo, instead of going on this really big platform that's going to help you, let me put you on a platform with someone that I'm cool with so that they can get some clout. It's not helping you. It's just helping
What do we
some
get in
other
contact with these people? SAWEETIE, come on.
Right.
You get like 2 other listeners, 3 at least, us. So.
Right. So the thing about it is that you need.
She could have just gone on the Breakfast Club.
Most of the people. So it seems like Universal as a whole.
I thought Breakfast Club was RIP.
Well, no, only Homegirl is. Only Angela E's RIP. It was her last day, like last week or something. But basically, certain labels have vendettas against these media platforms, and it's affecting these artists because of like label beef. So like NLE Choppa is on Universal, but DJ Vlad and NLE Choppa have a relationship on their own. So that interview happened because NLE Choppa talked to DJ Vlad, not because.
So what is SAWEETIE gonna do about this?
Well, SAWEETIE's just basically saying my music's for hot girls. If you don't get it, I understand. And she's just kind of like,
so she went the Drake route.
She's kind of just like doubling down, being like, haters are gonna hate type shit. She's not really.
Well, what was that one album that none of us listened to that sounded like elevator music and wasn't very good?
Honestly, never mind.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I said when I started listening to it. And then turned it off.
So according to what Drake
you ever
says,
watch that meme where someone crashed the car and they're like, when the Drake album is playing and he's dead, he wakes up, turns it off, and goes back to this.
So to quickly touch on that, he says that Certified Lover Boy, Honestly Nevermind, and Her Loss are a trilogy. And
the mental gymnastics now we're back.
Well, basically, the way that it seems like everything's talked about, even when he addresses Honestly Nevermind, that was a global album. That wasn't for the US. Like, he's a global artist, and that wasn't for us. That was for other countries. Look up the numbers. I mean, I don't think it did bad.
He said, I talked about Bad Bunny, bro. Like,
that was on the new album.
That was
the new album. Her Loss, greatest album of the year, and y'all can't debate that. Because I dare y'all to name a better album that came out this year that you guys are listening to.
Not a lot of good things came out this year.
Nas's album.
Nas's album is good, but I don't.
He has no relevance.
Yo, okay. I wanted to bring this up. Can I mediate? Can I mediate for like 2 seconds? All right. I know.
1, 2.
I know where your stance is. Let me.
How do you know where my stance is? You haven't even.
Because I know, bro. I know. Ruben's a huge Nas fan, and you are on the side of what 21 Savage said. So we'll give the floor. We'll give the floor to Ruben first because we want to spread the love.
Well, no, let me get the floor so I can explain what happened.
Okay.
So what happened was 21 Savage was on Clubhouse, and they were having the conversation about Nas's most recent album, and they were talking about his relevance in the game. And 21 Savage says Nas is now relevant in the space. He just has loyal fans that love his music.
So you could,
but he doesn't have relevance in the landscape of hip hop today. And what that means to me is to basically saying that like, people aren't trying to sound like Nas right now. People aren't trying, like, he's not moving culture. Does he have a fan base that cares about him? Is he still successful? Is he still a legend? Yes. But does he have a relevance in the game of hip hop today? Same way with Eminem, I'd say no. I would say
not the same as Eminem though. Eminem, all right, now it's my turn. I understood now. So you're just saying he's not relevant. Awesome. Nas is still good. Like every album, to be able to keep putting out music that is good, where the rhyme scheme, the double entendres, the just flow, the beats, to be able to do that for 3 albums. He won a Grammy for the second one. He's so just good.
His beat picking game is trash.
His first album, that's like a hot take that people say. He's still so good though. He could rap out any beat. And that's what I'm saying. Drake and 21 need a nice catchy beat. That's why you listen to them to keep on. And Drake uses ghostwriters all the time. And 21 repeats. We like him because the way he raps is so simple. But none of us are like, yeah, bro, you remember when 21 said, when I'm at the club, they don't ask who I am because I'm 21? Like
we say that as a meme. Like we say that as a joke.
Yeah. But nah, man, Nas is like, to be able to have such old heads listen to him and to have someone like me and people who are younger that are like, damn, I didn't even listen to the original.
No, I'll give that one to Zen. I'll give that one.
No one listening to
anyone younger than us won't listen to Nas. Well, actually, my sister listens to him sometimes, but she'll like listen to like Illmatic. Not like
if y'all listen to Nas and you're younger than us, then
let us know. Yeah, let us know.
Let us know for real. But all right, so the hot take happens and everyone starts trashing 21 Savage for even having this take. He recently actually put out a song with Nas, and in the song he goes, "Once you a legend," like he basically goes like, "Once you a legend, ain't no need for relevancy." So it's like he's not saying Nas is bad. He's not saying talking shit on Nas. Him and Nas have a good relationship. His point is truly he doesn't have that relevancy in the game anymore. He's a legend who's got his fans, and that's where it is. But he's not
driving the culture. He's just a part of the culture.
Right. Like he'll always have his spot, and people are always going to respect him, and he's always going to have his fans. but I don't think he's gonna have
Yes.
I don't think his career is gonna breathe a new energy or new light or anything like that. I don't believe that that's gonna happen. But with that being said, I want to talk about quickly this idea of producer albums. We see him a lot with DJ Khaled, right? DJ Khaled's like the most recognizable when it comes to producer albums, where you're gonna have people on there.
I don't know, bro. The Queen said that's enough. DJ
Nigo.
and just like dipped after that.
Nigo did it right. DJ Khaled always spends so
Nigo
much
did
money,
do it
doesn't get enough good music.
The best one that has popped up in recent history has been this Metro Boomin project that just came out this week.
I haven't heard it. It's all the like
you guys probably haven't heard it.
I've seen the pictures of like the comic book covers, right?
Right, which is what he's used to kind of like, which is what he's used to like promote these songs.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go through the track list
Okay.
so that we can see. Like, for one, I think he does this in a completely different way. Where
Can we
he
guess
does,
it? Can we guess who's on the tracks?
Yeah,
I'm
go
looking
ahead.
at it right now. So
So go
you
ahead
can
and hit a
guess.
I'll
guess.
guess. I'm gonna guess
No, we're not.
21.
Right.
I'm gonna guess. I don't know if Travis Scott's still hot.
Yeah.
But
Travis
that's
Scott's
right.
on there.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna guess some of the Migos.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. He's got to have an introspective type of rapper on there. Who's introspective enough, but not.
So I'll tell you. So in this, he uses a lot of the same artists, which I think is cool. Instead of being like, I'm gonna put
John Legend's
a
kind
million,
of. I feel like John Legend's kind of
but
a.
he's a singer. He's not an introspective.
No.
rapper.
I'm saying that he's like a.
But
you wouldn't
basically,
expect.
he uses people who like he's really trying to create the cinematic experience. So he got Morgan Freeman again.
Oh
be
yeah,
on
for the
this.
last one.
Well, he had him for Metro Boomin, 21 Savage.
When they did
Mode
that
two.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this, he gets a lot of the people that he pretty much just likes working with. He has pretty much just a handful of people, and he goes, "We're making an album together." It's not like every single song has like a different crazy feature like a DJ Khaled album does. He goes, "I'm trying to create a certain cinematic sound, and these are the guys that I work with." So track 4, Metro Boomin and John Legend. Track 2, Metro Boomin, Future, and Chris Brown. Track 3, Metro Boomin and Future. Track 4, Metro Boomin and Travis Scott. Track 5, Metro Boomin, 21 Savage, Young Nudie. Track 6, Metro Boomin, Travis Scott, Young Thug. Track 7, Metro Boomin and Don Toliver. Track 8, Metro Boomin and Young Thug.
Don Toliver. See, I said it. It's an
Track
introspective
9.
type of rapper.
I mean, it's just like the vocal inflection's cool.
How did Thug get on this album?
Multiple times. He has multiple features.
No,
on
I'm
here.
just saying how.
Probably
Isn't he-
recorded multiple
jail phone.
more.
Yeah.
No. They've had
No,
locked
true.
in sessions forever.
I'm sure
I'm
they
just
Track
joking.
9, Metro Boomin, Future, and Don Toliver. Track 10, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, and 21 Savage.
I would want to hear that.
So good. Track 11, Metro Boomin, Travis Scott, and 21 Savage. Track 12, Metro Boomin and 21 Savage and Mufasa. Track 13, Metro Boomin, Travis Scott, and Future. Track 14, Metro Boomin and A$AP Rocky featuring Takeoff. Track 15,
R.I.P.
Metro Boomin and Gunna.
Yeah.
So a lot of the same people are on these songs, and the songs are just crazy. The samples that he uses for like sound clips in between these things, the Morgan Freeman stuff, it's very cinematic. It's very like, it's just a good album. The whole album itself is actually good. You don't get this annoying DJ Khaled stuff in the background. You get like, yo, I want.
That's actually what I was listening for.
You're like, I want. He's like, I want, to put movie clips to really, because the album is called Heroes and Villains. So it's this whole heroes and villains. It's this whole heroes and villains like arc throughout the whole album, and like it's really just done so well. It's done extremely well. I went from just listening to the songs and features I wanted to going.
That cover is really cool.
It's super cool.
Like I would want that on a vinyl.
So I really urge people to listen to this from start to finish, like from track 1, not on shuffle, and kind of hear what he does to like lead this whole thing through.
I'm gonna do that on my drive back home.
It's only 48 minutes, so in Houston traffic, that's just like one destination.
Literally, that's a trip.
So I really think that this needs to be listened to so people can truly understand the right way to do a producer album. This is truly the way that a producer's album should be done. Now they arrested into this. I want to talk about they arrested Takeoff's killer. We don't know too much about them. What we do know is that he was standing next to him in the video that we all saw, and shortly after the incident happened, he requested an emergency passport and had a ticket with the flight booked to Mexico and had hella cash on him when he got arrested. So he was definitely trying to flee.
Yeah.
And that's going to affect his bond because no one's going to give him bond because he's a flight risk. So he's now been arrested.
Why get the flight when you're right by the border?
Oh, you mean like why not drive?
Well, but who knows if he's like from Houston?
Okay, you know.
I mean, who knows like where he actually like if he was a part of someone's camp and he's somewhere else. I don't know.
We don't know that about him yet.
They haven't. But the only
I thought
thing
they
that
released a name.
they released his name, and whatever his like alias is, which is DJ something. But that's all we know. We just know his name and that he was gonna flee. No other information has really been like talked about of like what he is, who he is, and all this stuff. So that's the most recent update. Someone else got arrested that was around for having a gun while being a felon. So they got a gun charge, but they didn't get actually arrested for the murder. So all the investigations seem to finally be playing out now. So that's what we've been hearing about that. I also want to talk to you because you live in San Francisco, and San Francisco recently allowed remote control robots to use deadly force with the police. So
As
robots finna be killing people on some Terminator shit. How do you feel about that?
As they should, robots.
Do you think robots are at the place where we should be trusting? Like, do we think that there's not the margin of error for them to just be like having some sort of issue? Like, who's programming them, and like who's responsible for like if they should be able to use deadly force? I don't know anything about that yet, and that's the reason why I think there's a lot of unanswered questions, and they just put the headline out there, and to me it just seems crazy.
Isn't the issue still going to be with like facial recognition? How like if you're darker skinned, it doesn't really recognize you as well.
What is how they've been having the story besides allowing it? Like, was it ever a thing? I've never seen a robot on the streets. Yeah, besides like the vehicles trying to drive themselves. Yeah. Everybody's on that grind, but I've never seen like somebody get arrested by a robot. Like, couldn't you just have run it or kick it over or just like,
So here's my thought.
Like, what's it gonna do to you?
I'm wondering if this becomes more of a thing.
Is it like the China type robots?
No, I'm thinking. So let's just say there's a hostage situation. And you don't want to send actual people in there. You send a robot, possibly remote controlled with like a camera. That's my thought. I'm thinking of it being used in those types of situations. But the fact that they didn't make it clear seems crazy to me.
Right, like this person could like be pulling this robot could be like pulling you over, or you just like walking the beat.
At what point do we now feel like
y'all act like there's robots driving cars?
Well, they are the cars.
They are. But I get it. Okay.
Transformers.
Maybe you have that'd be interesting. You get a self-driving cop car to like take high-profile like people that cops may be afraid to even be in the same car as them, type shit. I feel like this is gonna make cops pussy.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to a drone, right? Like you're so far removed, and who's to say who gets to pull the trigger and do stuff like that? Right. So I feel like it will never be left up.
Well, because if it's like
ever be left up, we can't even get AI to drive us correctly. We're not gonna get AI to kill somebody.
Well, you don't hop in the Tesla and put
self-drive? Does that.
What if
Tesla already does that?
Do you think if things get crazy, like they'll start having like X-ray eyes and they can like determine if you have a gun on you? If you, like...
I don't think we're anywhere near that yet. I think the closest thing is that
you ain't developed nothing like that
thing. Not me, not personally, but I'll talk to Elon. He's at Twitter. I'll see if he has more money than that.
You live down the street. Yeah, you down the street,
Yeah, bro. Sometimes when you hear about dumbass people like that, you're like, damn, I just need to come up with an idea that kind of sounds good, and people just give me money for it. I just need to walk in with both of y'all.
Or whatever her name was, right? Not her. Whoever the fuck that girl was that like.
Are you talking about that Netflix movie with the blood thing?
No, the girl that had gone and like gotten all this money, like that was dressing like Steve Jobs.
Yeah, she was like a Russian something. She pretended
to be like a pharmaceutical person that was selling like this crazy new technology.
So same one I saw. No. There's a Nicholas movie about this.
I don't know.
And she got sentenced, right? She got sentenced, and that shit was crazy.
I didn't watch the Netflix movie.
Well, I didn't watch the Netflix movie. I think the news just came out.
Some people just have too much money, don't know what to do with it. You have like a decent idea, they're willing to throw money at it. Is what I'm learning.
So to close things out, I quickly want to talk about these Nike lawsuits. Yeah, you guys might know a little more about them. I saw 2 different companies that were getting sued for this, and I saw the pictures. Right,
the pictures are insane, but it's like, how can John Guyver, or is that, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but how can he get away with the Air Force One thing? Or we'll see. I mean, because this hasn't been decided. Because the Air Force One thing with John Guyver went, and then did they settle or did they, no? I thought
I don't think it's
ruled in favor of him.
I haven't heard of it.
Well, I would want to say,
Nike, I mean, they have a patent on the design for the AF1, and then also for the Jordan 1, and for like a bunch.
Well, but I think it has to be the colors. That one, there's those colors of like they copied the colorways, which is
crazy. They literally did the chunky dunky with like a
whatever that thing is. But I was at Ross yesterday,
and
I pulled up to the shoe section, and I was looking at the size 11s. And I saw a Puma shoe that straight up looks like an Air Force One, white and red.
Hold on, I know which one you're talking about because
and they're just sitting on the shelves, and I'm like, how the fuck is Puma not getting sued then? Like to me, it's kind of annoying. It's super close, dude. Like
then maybe they're building a case for.
But okay, so like the defense that I saw, because I think one of these sneaker like things that I follow on Instagram, they like posted a tweet of like one of the guys that owns one of the companies, and he goes, it's different. Like I have my stitching pattern's different. So he's like basically saying that because of the stitching and the way the like really he literally said, no, I didn't copy. I changed the answers a little bit.
Yeah,
Like that's his defense.
that's all their defenses.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is it's such a simple shoe design itself of like, you know, that normal shoe. Everybody follows the same sort of like silhouette of a shoe looks this way with this type of toe box, and they're changing the swoosh. The swoosh is the biggest copyright. I mean, I'm sure they have like, you know, their patents on like certain designs, but like when I look at those pictures, the bottom sole looks completely different than the original one. I don't know the two companies. There was two different companies. When I was looking at those pictures,
couldn't you say that couldn't you be suing for the upper though? Because the upper is completely like that's.
But
insane.
it's still different. Not that there was two brands. There was a middle one, and that one didn't look different enough to me. They were still using like the Air Jordan type of like logo, but the other brand wasn't.
Yeah, and I guess you could say like, oh, well, you have this kind of leather on the Chunky Dunky. We have this kind of leather, but like,
yeah, this trend recently started basically last year. So I'm wondering what the end cause is, because I'm sure that the amount of money they make from these small companies is not enough. But maybe it's to set a precedent to not allow anybody bigger to try to.
Why? Here's what I don't understand. To me,
couldn't you just?
You're talking about small batch releases of shoes that they only make in small batches. It's not like it's pulling sales away from you. No one who truly wants the Nike shoe is buying the other shoe instead.
It started after that Mischief Nas thing.
Yeah.
And then it just has been going off from there. I think they just don't want their brand associated with anything.
But what about in the case where you're customizing? Because the Mischief thing,
customizing is different though.
Well, that's what Mischief did. Mischief bought all these shoes and then customized them.
But this
you're already buying the product and then you're reselling the product with your different modifications.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
But I don't think
people. I think are biting.
I don't think this. Yeah, I think these are two separate situations, because like customizing is different from, hey, I copied the silhouette and I changed it a little bit and I'm trying to sell it as my own color, as my own like like I brought something.
Let me think of some random.
Yeah.
But those are all shoes that are already sold out on Nike and you're not going to be able to buy.
Like if you look at what Sneaker Surgeon does, it's like it's still Jordan 1, but now it has like this crazy leather.
So my thing is like it doesn't affect their brand, and it almost just makes them seem.
It does because people are spending the money on a different shoe that would have been spent on theirs if they had.
Wouldn't have been though. If you couldn't get the Chunky Dunky, you can't get the Chunky Dunky regardless. So if you just get this other brand's take on a Chunky Dunky, no one's going to look at you and say you had the Chunky Dunky. They don't look the same.
But
you wouldn't have bought a Nike shoe randomly instead.
No sneaker person would genuinely buy that off-brand Chunky Dunky. It's more of like, these are my homies, so they're going to buy it kind of thing.
Or my fans. You have a direct fan.
Or you have like a direct fan.
You have fans, like Mischief has their own fans.
I don't even think it's about the money. It's just about the respect and the recognition and the ceiling of what is obviously yours.
Here's my thing right now is I think that they need to be like, they need to have a cut and dry reason, because in the same way, like you're saying that certain people get away with it and other people don't. And right now we need something set across the board.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
And you think they're trying to like build all these cases to basically be like,
I mean, how the hell do all these like, how the hell did all these fashion brands get away with redoing the Stan Smith over and over again?
Yeah. Could you imagine if they did that for, a 95 or something, or and a Jordan? Who's Flow on Converse? What are the other ones? The chunkier ones that like
the platform
goth kids wear and things that are cool. Rick Owens. Who came up with the design first?
Well, that was like one of the first shoes ever. Like Converse, we're like
So
and Nike owns Converse.
Right.
So not Rick Owens. Okay.
Right.
That's why I'm just like, it's a poor man's Rick Owens. I'm like, no, Rick Owens bit off.
Yeah.
Rick
Owens just made an expensive clown shoe.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just a weird one to me because I don't understand like the idea of them trying to like take out these small creators who are basically perpetuating the culture forward. Like,
but are you a creator if you're just taking like
an artist can take a take on something, like, you can cover a song.
Taking a take on something is different from like just.
This is blatant plagiarism.
Like, it's not plagiarism when they're not taking the exact.
Where is it plagiarism and where is it like? Because dude, like you can't objectively look at those pictures and being like that's not plagiarism.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but it's a completely
you
different
would fail the
type
class
of brand.
right now.
It's like
no,
bro,
but
it's a different type of brand.
If you would fail the class, you ain't doing it right.
Exactly. You
Do we think that my thing is that if you keep on fighting on stuff like this, then the culture doesn't want to like. The cult, like, I think this type of stuff sometimes you have to take a
completely.
hit.
I think people are settling and doing this old ass shit that we've had for a while. You need people to push it. You need people to do different things, create a new silhouette. do
But
this,
people
do
don't like
that.
buying new silhouettes.
Too bad. They make one that people want to buy. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. But just copying it is not the thing. Like, it's just, why would I buy your shoe if I could just buy a Nike shoe? It just
Exactly.
doesn't make.
But you
And
can't buy Nike
it's got a Thunderbolt on it. Like, what does that have to do with
But you
anything?
can't
It's
buy
just
a
like,
Nike
well,
shoe.
bro, go
But
on
you can't-
StockX. Go buy a fake one off of like Alibaba or something. Either
Then
way.
now you're supporting direct,
Well, Nike's
not
got to
just
figure it
plagiarism,
out.
but straight. No, but my thing is, if
I'm a
you want
shoe
that,
fan, not a Nike fan.
here's my thing.
Yeah.
My thing is, would you rather someone go and buy a straight knockoff of a Nike shoe, go buy a fake
Yes.
Nike
Yes.
shoe, than
Yes.
someone
Yes.
making a new shoe and having a
Yeah.
small business based on an
Yes.
idea that
You,
Nike
you could
has?
you could still have a
Not
small
an
business.
idea,
with-
verbatim, the exact shoe with the swoosh change. Yes, I
Yeah.
would rather you just go buy a fake shoe and get roasted like we used to do back in
Yeah.
middle school,
Also,
instead of walking in with these fucking no.
to what
they're
Ruben
not it.
said, to what
We
Ruben
need to
said,
stop.
how would would you say that brand loyalty without the bag is corny?
Yeah,
Brand
definitely.
loyalty without the bag is corny.
Unless
Yeah.
you have a connection
Yeah.
with the brand on a
In some way.
personal level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But other than that, yeah, you're basically, if they're not paying you to be that loyal to a brand, unless that's just
Like
like,
how people just be saying like checks over stripes, and it's like, bro,
I say that,
yeah, Nike don't give you the bag. Stop saying it.
but I'd be wearing Adidas.
He's a Drake fan though, and Drake be giving him that. No,
Because look, they don't pay Nike, don't pay them to tell me just do it. They pay me to show me they'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. So it's like,
Who said
you
that?
know,
That's a hard.
Drake said that. Drake said that.
Nah, somebody.
You're like,
that
no,
was,
it's
that was
corny.
good.
No, it's
Nah, nah,
corny.
fuck that. It was good. It was good. I liked it. What album was that on?
But I don't know. I guess
Hey
you're
man,
right.
Ruben got the New Balance hat on, bro. He's like, if it's not made in the States and it's not made by the company, I don't want it, bro.
He said, bring companies back to America.
New Balance was actually sued because they weren't made in America. Like, only parts of it were made in America.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I think we got what we need. Tell your Theos that we out here being reckless, speaking for them, speaking on behalf of them.
And we'll
Checks
call
over
them out.
stripes. USA, and we out.